Hello. As predicted, the coaching hour, I didn't talk about it enough, so nobody showed up. So as promised, I'm going to just do a quick video on some of the things that I wanted to cover. So the way I wanted the session to go was that for the sort of first 15-20 minutes, I was in a nutshell going to talk about beliefs, the belief system, what it is and how it has an impact on us, and our place in the world, what we think is our place in the world. And then I was going to open the floor if anybody had any questions or anything they wanted to talk about. So what we'll do is I'll just do this video, and then if you have any comments, just put it in the comment section below or drop me a DM. I'm always here for a chat. Honestly, I'm always up to talk about these things. So yeah, the floor is open. So I have got notes because I do have a tendency to ramble. So just wanting to talk about the belief system. So the belief system, a bit like solar system, is just a series of interlinked truths, judgments, assumptions that we have and that we formed over the years about ourselves, about the world, about the way the world works, and more importantly, our place in it. We are, and rightly so, and have to be, the centre of our universe. I do apologise, my daughter's given me a little bit of a cold. I'm trying not to sniffle. So we have to be the centre of our universe. And radiating from us are these beliefs. And some of them are absolutely inextricably linked. Some of them are loosely connected. Some of them are newly forming on a daily basis. And some of them are deep rooted, that were instilled in us even from like before we were barely conceived. We can have these hereditary beliefs that come down from generations to generations. And you might have seen sort of, people talking about breaking those generational beliefs, which have sort of, been sort of family cultures or heritage that just maybe don't serve in modern day, or in the way that you in particular want to think and feel. So the beliefs, the one thing that to kind of know about beliefs, and this isn't to make light of them in any way, is that a belief is only true where you believe it to be true. The most stark example I can think about that is if you're having a lovely coffee conversation with some really good friends and you're talking down about yourself, and then they kind of interject to go, hang on a minute, no, that's not who you are. I've just heard you use derogatory terms about yourself, and I absolutely disagree, and I don't see it. And they're able to even give you proof and evidence that what you believe about yourself isn't true, because it doesn't fit their belief that they have about you. And I was so lucky to benefit from a conversation like this last week. This is what it means to have those good people around you. So the beliefs that we form, they come to us in a variety of ways. But where they are affirmed will be that we will observe or experience something that will really lock it in. Our earliest beliefs are coming from our primary caregivers, our first environment, right? And we will come into this world believing whether or not we're loved, whether or not we're safe, whether or not we can be happy, right? And this is, those are the baby's first survival needs. Are we safe? Are we fed? Are we comforted? And so these earliest beliefs will then build that sort of trust bond or whatever you have with your primary caregivers, and we will listen to them and we will watch them in their environment. Because here's the thing, in survival terms, you think about when we used to have to be together as a community, is that we needed to fit in. We looked at our elders, we looked at the older kids, we looked at the elders themselves, and we used that as an example of how we needed to be so that we fit in. Because back in primal times, to not fit in meant to be cast out, which was a threat to your survival. So we would do anything not to do that, and we still have these primal instincts about us, and they still govern us in a huge way. What we have now is that we're living in the 21st century, where we are more probable, where it is more likely that we're going to question. We're going to get more curious. We're going to challenge certain beliefs. We're going to ask, well, where does that come from? Well, who says? Well, why does that have to be? Thanks to social media, we're experiencing and hearing stories of people doing things in a different way and experiencing success. Because here's the thing, back in the day, you would have had people who would be failing at parenting, who would be finding certain ways particularly hard, who would be experiencing stress and difficulty and maybe bringing rage and anger into the home. And that just being normal, because they didn't have another source of information to help them develop different skills. We now live in an environment, it's like, well, you know how rage and anger were normal for us? Well, I found a different way. And I really resonate with this article that I've read, with this person that I'm following, with this blog that I found. And I tried it on my own children, and it works. And I don't feel so stressed at the moment. I don't feel so full of anger and frustration. And there we go. Somebody who had a belief that there was no other way is now having a belief challenged, because they would be observing perhaps in their own children that they are doing something different with their children. So the fact that the beliefs make us is in part true, but you have to understand that we are meaning-making machines. We have to make meaning of our experiences. We have to make meaning of how we're loved. We have to make meaning of how we grew up. You have to make meaning of, what did they mean by that? What did they, what does it mean when somebody stands you up? What does it mean when somebody forgets your birthday? What does it mean when, you're very clear about what you wanted as a gift and you got something completely different? What does it mean when you didn't get the promotion, when you've worked there for the longest and you're clearly the right pick for it? What does it mean that you have failed to start something that you really, really want 100 times? What does it mean? Does it mean you're a failure? Does it mean they don't love you? Does it mean you're unlovable? Does it mean success is hard for you to come by? Does it mean you're never going to make it? Does it mean you're not likable? Does it mean you have no leadership skills? So here is where you have the power. You can choose your beliefs. You can choose what any event, what any situation means to you. And even if at this age you have a very clear belief of something that is age old, but you know that it's not helping you, you know that it is a belief that is holding you back, also known as a limiting belief, you have the power to change it. Because this is the beauty of the belief system, is that it is utterly flexible to your desires, to your whim. It will bend to your whim when dealt with the correct way. That correct way being working on the core beliefs that you have about yourself. It's that saying that came from your man who made the Ford cars. Whether you believe you can or believe that you can't, you're going to be right. And it's so simple, yet it's so true, right? Imagine you're an athlete and you're on you're going to do a run, a sprint or whatever, okay? And you're about to take your position on the gates, on the starting blocks, and your mind's going, oh, I might be in with a chance here. I might just make it. I might just do a good job here today. Do you think that athlete is likely functioning at a top level? What would be going through the minds of the top athletes, right? What are they saying to themselves? Because here's the thing, right? People mistaken, I think, arrogance, particularly in the sporting world or anything like that, for just overwhelming, drilling self-belief. Is that in certain moments, these people have to drill in overwhelming, deep, deep self-belief. Because if they don't, there is no purer source of inner power that they would be able to tap into. It's no good that their coach is standing on the sideline going, I believe in you so much. I see all this power. I see all this good. I see all of this potential. But if the person who is actively doing the job doesn't believe it, that is where the result's going to come from. So maybe you're not looking to be a world-class athlete. Maybe you're just looking to have something a little bit easier. Maybe you're just looking for somebody to pay a little bit more attention. Maybe it would just be nice not to be a doormat every day. So the question is, what would you have to believe for this to be your reality? Now, I say this with love, but 99.9% of the time, we are an active participant in any shitstorm in which we find ourselves. I say it with love because it won't be because we have chosen drama, stress, anxiety, pain, suffering. It will be that there will be a belief that has developed that we can't. I can't have more. I can't ask. I can't set a boundary. I can't make a demand. Sorry. Right? It will be a limitation that you believe about yourself or your eligibility or your worthiness in the world around you, in the company that you keep, in the people who love you, in the people who say they love you. Because here's the thing, right? My job at Recalibrate to Great is to get you fully aligned with your authentic self. Because here's the thing, your authentic self has nothing but the purest belief in you. Your authentic self is so full of love for you. Your authentic self has absolutely no qualms in speaking up, in setting boundaries, and doing it in a kind and compassionate way that preserves you, your energy, your desires, your dreams, to make sure that you have space and time to enjoy this life. Your authentic self, when you are aligned with your authentic self, it is a friction-free, congruent way of life, a congruent way of thinking, feeling about yourself. So when we have these limitations, these restrictions, when we have these feelings that we're being held back so strongly and that there is no way out and that we cannot think of another way, it is the limitation of the belief, right? You have set a parameter. You don't know it. It's in the programming. It's in an algorithm. It's hardwired in, but we can get to that. What would you have to believe to be somebody who is living more freely, with more love, with better opportunities, who is better seen? What would you have to believe about yourself? What would you have to believe about your place in the world? What would you have to believe about the people around you? Because here's the thing, right? When your limiting belief is about your value or your worthiness, particularly in like a relationship, whether it's family or whether it's with somebody that you love, like a partner, when we feel that we can't ask from them something that we need to feel loved, to feel love, to feel worthy of their love, and yet we feel like maybe it's too much of a one-way street, it's going to come down to the belief that you will have a belief about them, which will be assisting the limiting belief that you have about yourself. I can't ask them for more because. And one side of that will be because I'm not worthy. but you will have another that will be connected. And this is the thing about beliefs, is that in part they're connected. But here's the beauty of it, right? You don't need to sit down and take the time to unpick it. You need to take the time to invest in what's the belief that will help. What's the belief that's going to help you rise above all of these problematic beliefs and create new systems? Something that you must know and retain in any time that you are looking to make something new, whether it's have new beliefs, create new patterns of behavior, start a new habit, maintain a new habit, anything like that, is that when you're forming the new, neglect the old. There's that story that they talk about, there's two wolves. There's the savage, rabid one that creates drama and suffering. And there is the community-based wolf that's looking for a sustainable way for everybody to be together. And these wolves, they fight against each other, the dark and the light. And the story is that, the wolf that will survive is the wolf that you feed. So neglect the things that aren't working. Neglect the beliefs that don't serve you. So when they come in, and you will hear them come in, to be observant of this, listen to yourself. Listen to the words that you're using about yourself. Because I know that you know what unloving language is. It's unloving, right? I know you know what encouraging and motivating and loving language is. So use that. Neglect the stuff that's not working. So when you hear that belief that comes in that goes, probably not for you, shush. I'm over here. I'm forming new beliefs. I'm saying what I want. I'm talking about who would I have to be? I would have to believe that I am worthy. I would have to believe that I am capable. I have to believe that I am lovable. I have to believe that because I want it, it's going to happen. I have to believe in success. I have to believe in my ability to keep getting up. Because here's the thing, right? If, call it pain, suffering, whatever you want to do, if living low vibe life is quite something you're quite used to, if living that low vibe life is something you're quite used to, is that I tell you now, you have more resilience than you will ever know. You have survived every day that life has thrown at you, even if you survived it from your bed. You have survived every day that life has thrown at you. And if low vibe life is something you are very used to, that makes you one of the most powerful beings on earth. If you're here listening to this and you want more, and you want better, and you want kinder, and you want more love, then I know that you have the power to change that belief. I know you have the power to search for different answers. What would you have to believe about yourself to be, do, want, have more? You want any help with this? You know where I am, right? You can send me a DM. I'll pop a link somewhere to some contacts. If you're not already in the Facebook community, come into the Facebook community, because we're all lovely and kind in there. And I'm on a mission to contribute into their more. But most importantly, just get in touch. Talk about it. Find other people who talk like this. Yeah? Find other people who talk like this, who talk like me, and make it an earworm. Get it in your head. Get it out there. I'm Elaine. This is Recalibrate to Great, and I love you. I truly do.